What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I'm JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Wow. Just wow, JJ Wang. I don't even have the excitement, joy of the world, even though I had a pretty good week. Surprisingly, that means I must be bad at fantasy, but what a week of disasters.
Yeah, I mean, I had a decent week as well. Really, really low scores, but overall, it was blah. It's going to go along with my whole theme for this week, and everything I talk about is just going to be bad.
I,
It wasn't good,
I mean,
but I mean, it was still football though.
it was such a bad week that you told me I had to trim down the surefire waste of a touchdown segment because there were so many surefire wastes of a touchdown. That's what the theme of the week was. All seven touchdowns were wasted. But yeah, if you check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, leave us some comments, leave us some emails. We want to hear from the world. It's been quiet on our side. We're still moving forward, but we want to see if you all have any questions for us. We'd love to throw them up on here. Well, you can get a little bit of name time. You can be known on the internet.
Lucky you.
Lucky you. And you can be on Facebook and Instagram. So check us out. All the links are in the bottom of all of our formats here. Otherwise, we'd love to hear from you. We want to get back up to that 50 subscriber. Or I think we're still stuck at 46.
I
You
think
were
so.
the checker of that.
Last time
So
I last time I checked, it was still 46.
so those four people, we'll
Come
move on,
back,
and we
please.
need four good people. If you're there, be one of those four good people. But yeah, let's get into this disaster. Let's see if we can even get 30 minutes out of this. Maybe 15, maybe five. We'll be
Maybe
done.
five.
Okay, have a great week. We're the Fantasy Couriers. Trust the process. But if there could be a silver lining, it's the injury news, right?
Yeah, I didn't even really see anything. I mean, you brought up Chase Edmonds. I seen where he got hurt on the first play. That allowed for a big day from somebody we'll talk about a little later. But yeah, overall, I mean, you would think no injuries, big points, but it was complete opposite. No
Yeah, I mean,
injuries.
I forgot to even put in the other one would have been Tua. That
Uh,
Tua was the shock there. I mean, my boys, so both Tua and Parker, like Parker, who everybody, if you've listened long enough, I loathe Parker because
yeah,
5 years of torture, 1 year, great. Then we give him some money, and then he stinks it up pretty much since last week. He looked great. And then guess what? He's on the IR. Magic. And then Tua has the fracture in his middle finger. So that's that one every kid gets and is like, hey, look what I broke, or look, I sprayed my finger. We've all done that as a little kid. Thought we were funny. But
still pretty
Brissett
funny.
came in. I think they basically said, you know what? We're playing the Texans. They might be one of the only two teams worse than us. So let's put in Jacoby Brissett. And really, I was sitting there. I got that text. I was out at the store in the middle towards the end of the morning, like freaking out, like, what do I do? Because I have, you all know me. I'm a Tua truther. I have Tua everywhere. Luckily, I was only starting him on one team, and that was a two quarterback league. And Carson Wentz played on Thursday. It ended up with Jacoby Brissett, which, well, he got me more points than I would have with the other people I was going to start. I still won, so thank goodness for that. But yeah, those were the injuries. I think Tua probably could have sort of played, but they were like, "Hey, we play Thursday.
Yeah,
See what we
I
can
mean,
do."
plus, like you said, the Texans are really bad. I mean, it was still a
That was a
terrible game.
terrible game. Terrible. Like
I
when
mean,
you win,
and honestly, I don't know why this has something to do with injuries, but I don't know why the Texans just don't go back to David Mills and just let him play it out. I mean, you can't. I mean, Tyrod didn't play any better than Davis Mills was playing. So,
well, I don't know why the Texans don't go back to the Pac-10, but we'll go there later. But there is rumor. David Colley, I believe is the coach's name. The new
yeah.
coach this year was saying that everything is on the table. So I think they are debating that. I don't know if Tyrod was necessarily the problem. I think they're
Oh
just
no.
terrible. And I do think something that was brought up when I was listening to yesterday is defenses are playing a little better. And we'll hit some of that here in a moment. But the Miami defense really, I mean, they've played good the last 2 weeks. They got takeaways from the Texans, just stopped them. Their offense played like disgusting, but that was a terrible game. That could have been the worst game as far as both teams. Other games, as I'll go into my three of my big takeaways were based like poop is the theme of the day. I think it's like it's like elementary school boy jokes today.
That wasn't
But
played either, but it happened.
yeah, poop in the bed was the theme for me this week, and the Bills carried on their poop in the bed from Miami last week. Miami slowed them down, and then the Bills just they scored 6 points. So if you had Josh Allen, good golly, Miss Molly, that was horrible.
Bad.
The Cowboys got rolled. They got rolled by the Broncos. It was, I mean, Dak Prescott, I traded for him this week, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, well, at least he scored more points than Kyler, who I traded away. But they got rolled, and the Rams, my Super Bowl pick, those three teams, which I could argue, I could probably spend time and argue that the Bills, the Cowboys, and the Rams are the three best teams in the NFL. Last week, the Bills, the Cowboys, and the Rams played fantasy wise, real life wise, much like the Lions, the Dolphins, and the Texans.
Yeah, it was it was bad. I didn't enjoy it. I mean, I didn't enjoy any. It was so bad. like at like at the beginning of the Rams game, of course I had Stafford, and I was starting to fear that I was going to lose because he kept throwing interceptions and pick sixes. I was like,
Yes,
this
he
is going
did.
the wrong way. I was like, this could cost me, a game. But yeah, there's really nothing they talk about there. I mean, literally everybody played bad. It was
I mean, those three games, we've talked about we've talked about the Broncos, the Titans, and the Jags. It goes back to three things. The Jaguars aren't as terrible on defense as we think they might be. Offense still kind of stinks. Trevor, he's got that ankle sprain. He sounds like he's going to be okay. The Broncos, we don't even know who they are. The Broncos are Jekyll and Hyde. If would probably be the closest thing to say. And the Titans, dang, they might be for real, and they might have learned, hey, if we play well-rounded football, maybe we're better.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but none of their players really did much either. I
Defense.
mean, if it wouldn't have been for those two interceptions at the beginning of the game, I mean, it could. I mean, that could have been a terrible, terrible game. But it just goes along with the theme, and we'll go to my next one. And I'll just continue the poop in the bed thing here with like how bad like the top quarterbacks were. I mean, it was amazing. To go along with like Kyler being out, with Rodgers being out, and then Brady on bye. I mean, this is where the quarterback strength in one of the leagues I was in. Dak finished number 9, but we know he wasn't that good. It wasn't that good of a game. Like Hurts finished number 14. We had Stafford at number 17, Mahomes at 18, Allen 24, and Burrow 27. That's 8 or 9 of the top 12 quarterbacks right there that you're disappointed with. And the only ones that finished well were what Herbert,
Herbert.
Lamar Jackson, and then Carson Wentz and Kirk Cousins had decent games. So they were able to actually jump into like that top 5 conversation. Wentz and Cousins were. That's how bad it was. But when 10 of your top quarterbacks all come in below projections, I mean that's a bad day, man.
Well, I would say of that bunch, Burrow looked the most turbilest.
Oh,
He looked horrid. Like I would scan over. Usually, I have the two TVs. I got the red zone up in the corner, and I got my Dolphins in front of me. And I'm looking up, and every time I look up, Joe Burrow, he looks like Carson Wentz from last year,
yeah,
like just running for his life, getting pounded, and just throwing the ball to whoever's there. Like he said, "Hey, here you go. You, our uniforms are close. We were started by the same guy, so we're sort of the same team. Paul Brown loved us all. So here you go, Browns, take this, take this."
yeah.
But Burrow looked. He looked. Oh my goodness,
Yeah, he looked, but I was watching Allen too. And Allen looked really bad as well. I mean, that looked bad.
those
But
fumbles.
yeah, so I'll continue on with the QB struggle here. Uh, I'm gonna go Jordan Love, right? So he's had a year and a half, sitting on the bench, studying, sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, trying to figure out this game of football. I know it's a hard game, but he's had a year and a half to try to figure something out here. So he comes in, gets his first opportunity, and it's just not good. He finished 19 for 34 for 190 yards with one touchdown and an interception. Touchdown was a short one to Lazard, I believe.
Mhm.
But I was watching I bet there's nobody that's more PO right now than Devante Adams. Like the passes that were going his way were behind him, over him. They were they were 2 yards away, and all those were passes Aaron Rodgers puts right in his hands. So if Jordan Love can't play, put the ball in your hands, it's going to be rough. And I just, I mean, I'm not a big Devontae Adams guy, but I mean, I kind of felt bad for it last or yesterday.
The dude got the targets. He
Yeah,
still only had 6 receptions for 42 yards. But I tell you what, I mean, let's all act surprised. Oh my goodness, the Packers drafting of Jordan Love was a bad idea. Now, if you didn't know that from the get-go, like Jordan Love falls into that category. Like there's certain guys that play in not big conferences. You look at, you're like, oh, they're going to be horrible or they're going to be great. Like Trey Lance is a guy I think we all currently thinks next year is going to be a pretty decent quarterback. I mean, look, Mahomes, he went to Missouri. It's not the SEC basically. So anything's not the SEC, you look at it smaller. I mean, Jordan Love is even smaller, and they reached for Jordan Love. They picked him and basically ticked off their franchise player, and he played kind of like we thought he would play. On the silver lining, he did do better than Kyler Murray this week.
this is true.
He did do better than Joe Burrow this week. So maybe no, he's terrible. I think the Packers are now like, oh, we better be, we're pooping the bed, but they're kissing some butt. So
Yeah,
Mister Aaron Rodgers, even though you're being attacked by the world because you're a knucklehead and decided to lie, you might be getting a little money and you might be able to stay in Green Bay till Tom Brady retires because Jordan
yeah,
Love's terrible.
they may pay him as much as that guy wants, but
Yeah.
that's a lot of negative stuff
There
right
we
there. You want to
go, Mr.
give us something
Positivity.
positive.
Oh, I am king of positivity for my last couple. I needed something after this week. Ironically, the first half of the games, I was like, ugh. My one player's from the first half, my other player's from the second half, and my son and I were hanging out in the second half. Honestly, I watched on stats and stuff because I took him to go see a movie because he needed it. So we went to see The Eternals, which follows the theme of the week. It wasn't a horrible movie, but it was better than some of the games I watched in NFL. But how about Joe Mixon? Joe Mixon, he was my darling love a few years ago when he came into the league. I like a dope took Leonard Fournette that year and ended up with Joe Mixon too. But Joe Mixon is putting up some fantasy points. Interestingly enough, Joe Mixon only has 100-yard game, but he is just scoring the touchdowns. He is getting it where it matters. He is catching the ball, which is an amazing thing to see. Like the last, with the exception of the Baltimore game, we're looking at five or more touchdowns, three of the last five or more, sorry, five or more receptions, 3 of the last 4 weeks. We're looking at 2 touchdowns, 3 of the last 4 weeks, and he has scored in all but 3 games this year. So that sounds like the kind of running back you want to have leading your team. I mean, in the world of running backs, you got to find the hot hand, and right now, Joe Mixon is the hot hand. And I mean, I think the Bengals falling on their face this week was a flop. Was a lot of these things were just one of those weird weeks. They're like, hey, there's 17 weeks. We're not playing all 17. We're playing 16. And but if you can get Joe Mixon, see what you can do.
So what's his ranking right now? Where is he at as far as
Oh, let me pull that up while you
But
put.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty like in like in the first games, I'm pretty sure Joe Mixon was the only one that scored any points. Like in the 1 o'clock games, everybody else, you never heard anybody else say Joe Mixon was scoring touchdowns. Yeah, he looked good. I mean, he's always like you said, he doesn't have that big breakout yardage game, but they score a lot of points, and he gets pretty much all the work, and
He's
he's played really well.
number 6 running back, and pretty soon he'll be moving up to number 5 because Derrick Henry's one, Taylor, Eckler, Harris, Kamara, then Mixon. So fantasy
Yeah,
point wise, and he's 1 point behind Kamara and 2 points behind Harris, and that's in our half point PPR. I play Mixon in my full point PPR, so it's looking even nicer there as he's getting those catches. But he's if
as long
if there was a bright side, whew.
yeah, as long as he's scoring touchdowns. I mean, I don't think. I don't think much will change because that offense scores a lot. Um, but give us this next guy here. This is the interesting one, and I think he's actually a top 10 running back as well right now.
I just closed my thing, but yeah, let's go to Arizona. Arizona is probably they just went with this mighty theme of terrible, and he's number 11 and a half point PPR, this next guy, of terrible. The 49ers probably should be in that first thing of poop in the bed because Arizona didn't have Kyler Murray. Arizona didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. For some reason, people still think Chase Edmonds is an NFL player. He looks like nothing incredible, but Mr. James Conner has put together a decent year touchdown wise. He is if I think he has moved ahead
He's got 11 touchdowns, right?
in touchdowns or he's tied. Let's see. He has
Like,
rushing. He's moved ahead because of the receiving touchdowns, I believe, from Derrick Henry.
yeah, I think
Yeah, by one.
he's got 11. I
He's
mean,
got 11. Henry
and we're,
had 10.
yeah, and
He
we're
is the
halfway
number
through the
11
season.
running back. James Conner secretly this week was the best player, put up like 40 points because he got 3 touchdowns, 21 for 96, and then he had 5 receptions for 77. Does it a couple questions here? We know that Chase Edmonds was evaluated as a high ankle sprain, so he's out for a while. James Conner, I traded him away the other week because I needed it for Adam Thielen because I thought he was fool's gold. Well, James Conner, do you think? I mean, he's only 26. He'll be 27 next year, like after the season. Is he fool's gold for the rest of the year, or could the Cardinals have found that piece that's going to help them continue to stay on top and just roll through the NFC?
I think it's going to he's in for the good remaining year of the season. That didn't make any sense. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but I mean, I think James Conner is legit. I think you can rely on him. I mean, the offense is good, no matter who plays in it, evidently. So he's the goal line back, and now with Edmonds hurt, I mean, he's going to get what 65% of the carries now.
I think
Plus he,
more.
yeah, I mean, plus he catches balls, so he's scoring touchdowns. You know, he's going to get the opportunity, and that offense is good. I think you could rely on him as that mid range RB2 with some RB1 potential upside. So I thought James Conner was done, but good for that guy.
I played him on my one team that's 7-1 and got to
Yeah.
40, and I think I only won by I won that game by his team had a bad night too, but yeah, I won that game by a size basically a James Conner. Like, but yeah, won by a James Conner. So if I'd played anybody else, it would have been a loss.
Yeah, I mean, he probably scored more points than some people did in leagues this week. So I mean, that's how bad it was. But I
But
mean,
he,
that's a lot. That's a lot of
yeah,
positive talk. I'm gonna get back to this negativity here. So I got three guys, that are one of my teams, and I'm just kind of just tired of. I've been waiting I've been waiting ever since I played Dynasty, started, and these are the guys that in the beginning, I kind of wanted that I've liked, and I'm just over it. First guy I want to mention here is
uh,
Bryan Edwards.
uh,
This guy plays 80% of the snaps in a good offense, right? So he only has 18 catches on the season. And then yesterday, with all the opportunity in the world, he's got 4 targets and he catches 0. Zay Jones had more catches than Bryan Edwards. Bryan Edwards, my friend, you are a turd, right?
I
I'm
got
done.
0 points for that guy.
I'm over it. So the next guy, I've this he's one of my favorite guys in the NFL.
Just say it, say it, say
No,
you were
I'm
right.
going to
He
say
did
that one
that.
for last. I'm going to say that guy for last. I'm going to go. I'm
Oh,
going to go with this
the
guy.
second one hurts me. Then makes me sad.
So I'm going. He never plays a game. I don't understand. So he's only played 3 games this year. I've been waiting. I feel like he's getting ready to play every game. Then right at the last minute, he's inactive. I was like, this guy can't even get on the field. I can't like shed my positivity with this guy anymore. So Preston Williams, you are also a turd, my friend. And the last guy, I'm probably the last.
You're the
Probably
last
the
person on
last
earth
last one on this train. You
not
know,
chasing sunshine.
season started off, I was like, yes, finally. But these last 5 games, I mean, it's been so bad. And then as I was watching it yesterday, and he had that interception for return for a touchdown, that pick six, I was like, what are you doing?
He's
And then I was like,
playing like he does.
after that, I can no longer support you. So Sam Darnold, you are also a turd. So that's my rant. I mean, I can't deal with these guys anymore. But I know as soon as they have a good game next week, I'll be right back on the train.
I can tell you two of the three are dead to me. Brian Edwards, I had an offer. I had Derrick Henry, and I could have got AP straight up for Edwards. I balked on that. So Brian Edwards, you're dead to me. Well, honestly, if he'd have caught 2 catches for 30 yards, I'd have been content this week because of everything being wonky. Sam Darnold's always been a turd. Preston Williams, I'm not even talking about. He's not worth my time. I started to believe in him for about 13 seconds, and then I said, nah. Preston Williams, apparently he has made the coaching staff in Miami mad. Like the other week, he did a disciplinary thing. This week, they just didn't play him. They have come out and say that he is going to play on Thursday because they realize the pass catchers. There's two of them, and the rest of them are terrible. So, and I mean, the comp Preston Williams is the one that I fell for because the comp that came out, even not amongst Dolphins fans, I believe they comped his like size and play to Terrell Owens and apparently his attitude too, because Preston Williams was an undrafted free agent because of his knuckleheadedness in college. What they said, the talent and the size and everything, and when he plays and he's not hurt, you can see some of that. So maybe we can give some of that to Baltimore on Thursday. We will see, but yeah, yep. Let's go to from true stinking poo of the week to poo that you didn't have on your team. So we're continuing with the poo segment, but this is my favorite segment of the week. Just surefire waste of a touchdown. So we're gonna go over to Atlanta, and we have a magical player scored 2 touchdowns. So we know that it's Cordero Patterson since Ridley's out. Cordero Patterson just gets 2 touchdowns to rock it down. To go on with his other touchdown, that would give him 3. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't. 2 touchdowns scored by Olamide Zacchaeus.
You better get used to that name, but surefire waste of a touchdown. 2 touchdowns.
Oh, Dallas in that dumpster fire of a game. We know. We're sitting there. Oh, look, there's a 4-yard touchdown reception in the fourth quarter. Oh, wait, 5 yards, then a 4-yard touchdown reception. That must be CD Lamb and Amari Cooper rocking it. No, it's Malik Turner. That is a
Surefire waste of a touchdown. Like I said, I don't even know who that guy is.
how and you're a Cowboys fan. How about we go to Baltimore? Baltimore makes the amazing comeback. There is a 5-yard pass from Lamar Jackson. Oh, baby. It must be Mark Andrews. Nope, too small, not a tall guy, not too leaner, not Mark Andrews. Oh, dude, maybe it's Hollywood. Wait, Devin Duvernay's alive? 5 yard. Wow, that is a
Surefire waste of a touchdown.
Ooh, let's go down to New Orleans. New Orleans, it's an 8-yard touchdown pass. It's got to be Alvin Kamara. Nope, it looks like Kenny Stills is still playing football. 8-yard touchdown pass. That is a
Surefire waste of a touchdown. I didn't know he was still in the league either. I had no idea. I was like, good for him.
He called Colin Kaepernick and said, hee, I got to play.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Chargers. I got 2 from there. So the first is a 2-yard touchdown. So we know it's going to be Mike Williams because, of course, Mike Williams, supposedly, according to some people that know nothing about football, is a good football player. Oh, wait, no, that's not Mike Williams. I'm sorry. That must be Keenan Allen. Nope. Steven Anderson? 2-yard touchdown pass. And look, later on, there is Donald Parham with an 8-yard touchdown pass. That must be William. No. Yep, those two are definitely
Surefire waste of touchdowns. Yeah, I don't know the Steven Anderson guy either. Never heard of that.
I had him years ago. I believe he came through Houston. I had him on Dynasty team. He came through Houston.
Take your word for it.
James Conner's got 3 touchdowns. He's rolling. Let's go for 4 with a 21-yard run. Wait, holy camoly. This is a guy that was on my Dynasty team for years. Benjamin, where have you been? Oh, that's right, because you don't play. That is a
surefire waste of a touchdown, but that was a truck stick touchdown. He ran straight through. I don't know the cornerback, but he ran lowered his shoulder and ran straight through that guy.
He was the guy. I thought before signing Connor, I thought he might have been the guy to step up this year, but James Conner and his gajillion touchdowns. And finally, we're in that dumpster fire of a Sunday night game. Oh, 3 yard pass from Matthew Stafford. Maybe it's Cooper Cup. No, but it's not Cooper Cup. Oh, it's a running back. Oh, it's got to be Daryl. Wait, no, 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 no. It's everybody's favorite, Sony Michelle with a 3 yard touchdown pass. That is definitely a.
Surefire waste of a touchdown.
Oh, those are some wasted touchdowns. Let's give a couple. Let's give some good news, maybe something to search. Let's give a couple pickups. Usually we don't have a ton of pickups. Let's see, we got a handful here for pickups for the week, and then we'll listen to your words of wisdom. Who you got for your pickups?
Yeah, so my two pickups are two running backs. I think they're about 25, 30% owned in places. So the first one is Devante Freeman. I feel like he should probably be owned a little more than he is. I mean, he is getting the bulk of the work, and it seems like he's scoring a touchdown every week. And the other one is Jordan Howard. I don't know how much longer he's going to play. I think one more game, and then I think Miles Sanders can come back. But he's looked like the best running back for the Eagles all year. I don't know how. Some reason he just keeps being able to stick around and playing football. But I mean, he looks better than Miles Sanders, and he looked better than Boston Scott and Kenny Gainwell. So I mean, if you can get him for one more game, I mean, at this point in the fantasy life, you need people. So
It seems like everybody looks better than Miles Sanders in that offense in the
that's
backfield.
true. I don't get it.
Would you sneak Le'Veon Bell in?
Uh,
Or is he just vulture and you're gambling?
I think he's just a vulture. That's a risky proposition. I'd have to be really desperate for that to happen.
Okay, my pickups. I wrote pick your poison, Gage or Zacchaeus. If I had to, I'd pick Gage because he got more targets. Zacchaeus probably is more readily available because he only got 3 receptions. So when he's got a 66% touchdown catch, great. And I had him earlier in the season, and he would have been the theme of today, the way he played in other games. So I don't know what to expect from him. I would take Gage, but if you need to, I would go Zacchaeus. Taysom Hill, I think he might have gotten the reins back to that offense. Shocker, Trevor Siemian stinks. And Taysom Hill came in and played much better. Not
They lost.
spectacular, not Drew
They
Brees,
lost to
but
the Falcons, man. How do you beat
I,
the
no,
Bucks?
I think the Falcons are a good team.
Well, maybe I'm not. I get that, but how do you beat the Bucks and then lose to the Falcons?
Well, how did the Cowboys lose?
That's true.
But I don't think the Saints are that great of a team as a
They're not.
whole. They've got a couple good bright spots. Taysom
Sean
Hill,
Payton.
but he'll get you that
Sean,
rushing yards.
yeah, Sean Payton's just a really good coach.
Yeah, so you got a poor man's Lamar Jackson and Taysom Hill. Maybe for him, that's what you're gonna get there, and it's probably gonna hurt Kamara. And finally, a guy who you probably can't get, but man, he's better than Cortland Sutton apparently. Get some Tim Patrick if you can get him. He's there. I know he's sneaking around a couple of my leagues, but more of the short benches. So you're going to get him, and you're like, do I play him? And that's the week Judy and Sutton go off. But that's an option there. But there's guys available, and just keep checking that waiver wire. So give us some weekly wisdom, and let's rock and roll, dude.
Yes, not so much wisdom, but I thought I should mention something that happened for the first time yesterday. It was the Josh Allen Bowl between the Bills and the Jaguars. So to Josh Allen, the same names, spelled the same way. So the linebacker for the Jaguars intercepted Josh Allen, sacked Josh Allen, and recovered a fumble from Josh Allen, all in one game. So I mean, I thought that was pretty fun. They was talking about it on the Red Zone channel a lot when they was just waiting for it to happen, and it finally happened. They got all three of them, so I thought that was pretty cool. It was pretty funny.
It's funny.
But yeah, but as always, even after these terrible weeks, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about this. I mean, you just gotta get past it, and always trust yourself and trust the process.